The Malampaya deep-water gas-to-power project is an undertaking of the Philippine government, developed and operated by Shell Philippines Exploration BV. At this location, at a depth of 820 meters of water, the malampaya gas field has been opened to supply 15 million standard cubic meters of natural gas per day. Via a subsea manifold and through two 30 kilometers long flow lines, they produce to a processing platform located off the coast of Palawan Island at a depth of 43 meters. From this platform, the compressed gas is transported via a 504 kilometer long pipeline. It lands at the refinery at Tambangao, Batangas, southeast of Manila on Luzon Island. From here, the malampaya gas is distributed to the end users. The first stage in Van Oord ACZ's part of the project commences in Subic Bay. At this location, the concrete gravity structure, known as the CGS, was constructed in a purpose-built dock at Green Beach. The excavation for this dock started in October 1998, and the construction of the CGS commenced in April 1999, being executed by the Malampaya CGS Alliance, of which Van Oord ACZ was a full member and responsible for all marine activities. The construction of the CGS was completed within a record-breaking period of 10 months, readying the 90,000-ton structure for its journey to Palawan Island by the end of May 2000. This is where Van Oord ACZ started their operation. While the construction of the CGS was nearing its end, Van Oord ACZ's flexible full-pipe vessel Rocky Giant took up a position at the Palawan installation site to prepare the seabed for the platform. The seabed preparation was a world's first in rock placement technology. Fine gravel rock material was used to provide a leveled bed for CGS to rest upon. The solution was found in a mattress of humps. To construct this mattress, the full-pipe ROV was equipped with a set of splitting doors. Suspended under the full-pipe, the ROV was filled with rock. Then lowered and brought into position. Once established within an accuracy of half a meter, the bottom doors were hydraulically opened from the bridge on the Rocky Giant, depositing the rock as a nice round mound. In this manner, all 361 mounds were given their first volume of rock. As the capacity of the ROV is limited to a maximum amount of 15 tons of rock at once, most of the mounds did require additional passes to bring the mounds to the designated height and shape. Construction of the mounds required very strict and tight tolerances in both level and shape to achieve the required compression stiffness. After the last as-built survey, seabed preparation was completed and ready for the CGS to be placed at its final location. While vessel Rocky Giant was finalizing the seabed at the installation site, preparations for the towing of the CGS to the installation site were underway at Green Beach. After completion of the construction works, everything was being prepared for the dredging work commencing May the 15th. The construction dock was flooded through a designated excavated channel, leaving the CGS as a castle in its moat. With the dock flooded, Van Oord ACZ's cutter suction dredge Discovery Bay commenced the removal of the natural bund and also the dredging of the tow-out channel to the required depth, allowing the CGS its access to the open sea. "240,000 cubic metre of soil had to be removed and relocated to deeper water in the bay. The soil was transported through a floating pipeline to a spreader pontoon and had to be released close to the sea floor because of environmental restriction. Workboat Elizabeth IV, also used as a survey vessel, took final depth measurements of the dredge channel. After this, the channel was ready for the CGS to pass through. 28th of May 2000, Floatout Day. A 130 tons bollard pull anchor handling tug Lady Dawn picked up the towing bridle and gently started weighing its towing line. Once out in the bay, a second tug, Smith Lloyd 121, connected to the CGS by picking up a second tow line from tug Lady Dawn. A third vessel for the tow, Seacorps Valiant, connected herself to the central tow line on the CGS, while a fourth vessel, Smith Lloyd 110, acted as a guard and backup tow vessel. Upon leaving Subic Bay for the tow into the open waters of the South China Sea, the CGS had to be prepared for a full tow draft of 14 meters. This was conceived by manually opening ballasting valves and thereby flooding the outer row of cells on both sides. And then the tow to site commenced. Within 3.5 days, the 220 nautical miles to the site were covered. Weather circumstances during the tow were good, and the structure gently trailed behind. Upon arrival, the tow vessels were set up for the installation phase. All tug vessels took up a star formation. At each corner of the CGS, a tug was connected with its stern. The bow of these tugs were linked to a pre-laid anchor mooring. With all 4 vessels connected, the ballasting of the CGS commenced. Dry compartments inside the CGS were flooded according a predefined sequence. One side of the CGS was lowered to the prepared seabed in a controlled way. The rocky giant kept close watch towards the positioning of the CGS during its descent to the seabed. At maximum inclination, the CGS northern edge touched down upon a prepared seabed. ROV inspection was carried out, visually verifying touchdown position. On bottom weight of the CGS was increased, firmly keeping the CGS to the seabed before the rest of the caisson was lowered. The CGS settled upon the prepared seabed mounds just as intended, within specified tolerances of 5 meters. Once installation of the CGS was completed, and with its position approved, the tug vessels were released, and the rocky giant could start the post-installation phase. First, a layer of scour protection rock material was placed around the corners of the CGS. Then the rocky giant continued with the installation of 76,000 tons of solid ballast material into the open cells of the CGS. Iron ore was used as solid ballast. The ore was transferred to the immediate stockpile barge, Ocean Ork, and then onto the decks of the rocky giant. Within 21 days, the solid ballasting of the CGS was completed. And herewith the design, construction and installation of the CGS came to its successful completion. 3 months ahead of schedule. The first section of the 500-kilometer pipeline had to be brought ashore in Tabangayo, Batangas. For this operation, Von Ord ACZ prepared the site by constructing a cofferdam, dredging a trench and installing a pulling sheave block. The trench was dredged by the Discovery Bay. With preparation completed, a 3-kilometer long steel wire cable was placed through the sheave, and both parts of the wire cable were laid through the trench to deeper water. Pipelay contractor's vessel Solitaire arrived in Batangas and took up position. The pull head of the pipeline was connected to the cable, and the first part of the malampaya gas transport pipeline was lowered to the seabed. Then, vessel Solitaire picked up the other end of the cable and pulled the pipe through the trench onto the beach. After the successful shore pull of the pipeline, Solitaire continued pipe laying towards the platform, while Von Ord ACZ covered the pull section of the pipeline with rock, utilizing the side stone rock dump vessel Jan Steen. Before the pipeline could be laid from Batangas to the platform, Von Ord ACZ used rock dump vessel Rolling Stone to dump rock supports at several locations along the route to minimize pipeline free span. In total, 20,000 tons of rock was used for the 58 sleepers. After the pipe was laid upon the seabed, Von Ord ACZ carried out post-pipe lay rock dumping, required for stabilization and protection of the pipeline. The total quantity placed was 230,000 tons of rock in 1,075 locations along the pipeline route. This marked the completion of the Malampaya project, another successful operation for Van Oord, ACZ.